You want me to pick up a switch here then?
Welcome back to the Paddle and Fin Podcast Network. We're brought to you by Pelican, built tough for all situations. Go to pelican.com. Yak Gadget, for all your fine kayak fishing accessory needs. Go to yakgadget.com. Eastport Marina, on the beautiful shores of Dale Hollow Lake. For all your lodging, kayaking, and fishing needs. Go to eastport.info. Now let's get this show started.
Hey guys, John Rapp here. It's Takeover Tuesday. Let's do this.
Welcome to a special edition of the Rusty Hook Podcast, streaming live on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. 1 hour of straight talk regarding tournament news, angler profiles, gear reviews, and more. Now let's get our show started by joining with John Rapp, our host.
Hey guys, welcome to the Rusty Hook Kayak Fishing Podcast. John Rapp here. Got a really great, interesting lineup for you tonight. My show is in regards to a young man that I met this past weekend over at Lexington, Virginia, when I went and worked it was a open house for Journey Outdoors. Great location in Lexington, Virginia. Great store. They've done some excellent work moving from where they were at to the new location. So the gentleman I met, really nice young man, got an interesting story and I wanted to share it. And what it is his name is Jamie Childress, and he runs a kayak fishing guide service on the Maury River. So why do I need to talk about him when, hey, I got that young man right on the show? So let's bring him on. What do you say, buddy? How you doing there, Jamie?
Hey, good evening, John. How are you?
Good, buddy. So I started to do a relatively good introduction on you, but I'm like, no, why? Why should I do that? I got the man right here. So, hey, before we go there, let's do this. You know what? Hey, guys, make sure you like, comment, subscribe so Jamie and I can follow along with you and know who's online. So make sure you jump on there and let us know that you're on. So, hey, buddy, we're on Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook streaming today. And this is all about you. This is about what you are developing, starting, and running there near the Lexington, Virginia area. So tell us a little bit about Maury River Smallmouth. And while you do that, I'm going to pull up a screen that shows your Facebook page.
All right. Thanks, man. So Maury River Smallmouth started about 2 years ago. We decided that, myself and my fiance, we decided at the time that there was a bit of a need to sort of expose the Maury River in a good way. It's a hidden gem as far as smallmouth fishing in Virginia goes. You don't hear a ton of folks talking about it outside of the Rockbridge area, maybe Augusta and Allegheny County areas, but people in Botetourt might know a little bit about it. But for the most part, it's a bit of an unknown river, and it's very unique, and I think that's what keeps it unknown. It only runs in Rockbridge County. It starts out in the northwest end of the county, and it ends down in Glasgow, where it spills into the James. it's very unique, and it has amazingly different geological features as you traverse downstream. We thought that the river is so unique and has gotten a bit of a bad reputation for its floatability. There are a lot of popular opinions out there that seem to think that the river is only floatable like 4 to 6 weeks out of the year. And we've already sort of proven that you can float it from January to December. It's more so knowing how to do it versus just doing it in general. The lower the water gets in the Maury, the more technical it becomes. So that's a bit of a logistical thing to overcome. But for lack of a better way to put it, that's another reason we started the guide service.
Okay.
We feel like a big part of the value is not only having someone out there with you that, you know, knows where to find them and what to throw at them to put them in the kayak, but also how to get down the river in general. A lot of folks make the mistake of setting out on a float, and they set out on a float and they end up 2 miles downstream and they think they've gone 5 miles. And it creates a huge problem for your day as you go on. So we wanted to be able to provide folks basically like a security blanket, saying, hey, we got this guy. He knows how to get you down the river in a timely manner, and also in a way to get through all of the little chutes and ladders and rapids and everything that you got to work your way down as far as floating the Maury goes, because it is very unique in that aspect.
So
it's a technical little river.
So as you indicated, the Maury River is not a huge river. It just runs through one section of Virginia, one county area, maybe, but so the areas that you target, is it just, do you float one section the whole time, or do you have different areas for different levels of anglers?
You sort of hit the nail on the head with the end of the question there, and it has to do with a couple of things. Your level of ability as an angler, and your level of ability as a kayaker.
Right.
There are 3 different floats that we can do. It more so depends on your level as a kayaker. We have a 6 to 8 mile stretch on the northern end of the river that's incredibly easy to float. Tons of flat water, wider stretches. There's only one classified rapid on the entire run. I've had folks out there who have never been in a kayak before successfully complete that run and catch fish and not get wet.
So
and then we also have a
good
more
beginner
technical as well. Yeah.
And your technical areas. Now, we were talking this weekend, and you were even saying, hey, I'll guide you even if you want to bring your own kayak. So if you got guys out there that are traveling through and they want to stop in Lexington area and say, hey, let's head up with Jamie, and he can take us on a run on this area of the river. Talk to guys and give the people that are watching an idea of how you operate for folks like me that have my own equipment. Do you have a different price point, or do you still provide? Those guys, all they need is basically shuttle. They're bringing their boats to the ramp. So you say, I know you've already got a really nice rack system that you pull with the boats that you provide. So, and I guess let's go ahead and let you explain the different packages that you offer. So from folks coming from DC that just drive their family car in, a group of 4, versus another package where guys say, hey, me and my buddies are on our way to ICAST, and we're going to stop it. We hang out with you on our way through from, let's say, New York. You're to stop right off I-81, and they can stop there. They can spend a day at your retreat, go fish, and then pack up the next day and make their next trip. Because I know me, Brian Schiller, and several guys, we do a 10-day worldway trip from, he comes down from Illinois, we meet in Tennessee, we fish, we go to Guntersville, then we go to Florida and fish Fellsmere, then we go do a charter offshore, then we do the ICAST show for 4 or 5 days, then we fish our way back. So
That's an amazing trip in and of itself, right there. Holy cow!
Yeah, it's great. It was outstanding. We're going to do it again this year. But tell them about the services you offer, and we'll go from there. From bringing a family of four in, or four dudes coming from the accounting office decide when to come in and do a trip over on a Saturday with you, or whatever. So.
Gotcha. Well, we offer a couple of different services, just for basically exactly what you mentioned there. If you don't need the guide part of it and you just want to get out on the river, we offer just a shuttle service. So if you've got your own gear and everything, but you don't have a second person to pick you up or drop you off, however you end up working it out, we basically cover the logistics for you on that. Where you tell us where you want to get out at, we'll meet you there. We'll load all your gear up in our vehicle and your yak on our shuttle trailer, take it upstream, drop you in, and that way you're just floating back to your own personal vehicle. At the end of the day, you don't have to worry about somebody picking you up. We do that on the Maury for $25 a person.
Nice.
And that's anywhere on the Maury. And we also offer that service on the James River as well, and that's $40 on the James, and that's anywhere from Iron Gate to Snowden. So that's like over 70 miles of the James that we cover for the shuttle service there.
Very nice.
If you want the full-on experience where you just show up with your hands empty, and just meet us at the boat launch and we throw you in the vehicle and we give you the kayak and the rods and reels and all that stuff, just as for an individual person, we do it for $200, and that's for the entire day. And that does include food, drinks, electrolyte beverages and waters, and like a lunch package. So we pull up on the beach and we have a nice little lunch and stuff like that. It's basically all inclusive. Literally show up with your hands empty, and I provide you everything that we need to get through the entire trip. Aside from maybe a change of clothes, you got to bring that on there.
Yeah.
And then if you wanted to bring your own stuff, we do different packages for that as well. The standard price just for one person, if you wanted to bring your own gear and you wanted just the guide out there with you to provide the shuttle, and we help you get down the river in a timely manner and everything like that, we do that for $125 a person.
Okay.
One of the things that we tried to do in getting the word out for the Maury River was to be an extremely affordable guide service, and we know that I think affordability is a huge thing in the market these days, as our
no doubt.
Inflation rises and our money gets worth less. I could have said, hey, our money's worth less. It's $500 for a day. But I'm really not that type of person. I'm not doing this to get rich. I enjoy, teaching people how to fish, teaching people how to kayak, getting out on the water and just fellowshipping with people and being able to enjoy, God's beautiful creation is such a beautiful thing that we get to experience out there, regardless of whether we catch a fish or not. It's just an amazing experience. And the Maury is very serene. Once you get away from Lexington, most of it is incredibly remote. So you don't have a lot of noise or anything like that sort of polluting. And there's also not much pollution. The water is incredibly clean. You can take a great swim in it. You can, I dare say, drink it. You try that. But
I'm
it's
trying
very
to find.
clean water.
What's funny, I know you have an event page set up. I'm looking for it on your Facebook page.
Oh yeah.
Where you guys are doing your open house. On
Yes,
the 20?
absolutely.
It's the 22nd, isn't it?
Yes, sir. It's the 22nd. Sorry, I was pulling my website up there, so I make sure I was on the same page as you.
Yeah, it's I think it's on the 22nd, guys. So make sure you go look at the Maury River Smallmouth events on their Facebook page. He's got an open house. He's doing it's a free day. Come down, hang out at the lake. He's just going to do some seminar talking, floating around the river there, and show you his equipment. Everything that he offers. So if it's anything like what we just experienced at Journey Outdoors, which you're on their pro staff, I mean, it's going to be a fabulous outing. I highly recommend anybody and everybody in the area go hang out with Jamie that day. I would.
It's going to be super cool, man. It's going to be super cool.
I would be there.
Last year we did it in July, and we had, I think, almost 20 folks out on the river with us that day. Is the most kayaks that the Maury's seen in a very long time.
Nice.
And, we had a great day of fellowship and caught a ton of fish. This year we're doing it earlier in the year. So if anybody that was on the float with us last year knows it was kind of difficult because the water was really low. This year we got an earlier float, so we got a lot more water in the river this year. It's going to be so much easier. I just did the float that we're doing on the 22nd yesterday, and I never hit a rock, not first rock on the way down the river the whole time. And I'm hoping that we have 50 people out there with us. If you need a kayak, we'll have some provided. We're going to bring some of our own. It is free of charge. If you need a lift, a shuttle or something, reach out to us, send us a message, and we'll set you up with either someone that's coming along on the trip, or we can give you a lift ourselves. But it is a river float, so we're going to get in at Jordan's Point Park in Lexington, and we're going to get out down in Buena Vista at the Route 60 VMI boat launch there. So it's about a 6.5 mile, 7 mile float. Should take us, 6-7 hours. We'll have it knocked out. It'd be a great day with the weather we've had, this year already. I can only believe it's going to be super nice. So
hey, you got a question here. It says, evening, the gentleman's Chris Cabral. What do you suggest, sit in or sit on top for beginners?
I had, and I believe it, shameless plug here, I think this piece of advice came from the Feel Free Owners Group. Buy your second kayak first. Buy your second kayak first. I started in a sit-in side, and the reason that I started in a sit-in side is because, for some unknown reason, I can't tell you the reason. I guess this is just maybe I had heard it, and it was stuck in my mind that the sit on top thing was like only for fishing and kind of unstable, completely the other way around. So the sit inside stuff is super fun for recreational stuff, but they're fun. They're great kayaks, but personally, I prefer the sit on, even for just a recreational float, because I don't like sitting in water all day long.
Right.
All sit on top kayaks are self-draining, and generally most of them, your seat's not directly in the floor. So for me, that's a big thing. I like to, if I'm going to get wet, it's going to be because I want to get wet, not because I got wet on, by accident. I feel like trying to fish out of a sit inside kayak is incredibly difficult as well. That's how I started. I started in an Old Town Vapor 10. Great little boat, but definitely not anything in comparison to the Feel Free stuff, man. We switched into the Moken series 2 years ago, and I don't honestly think I'll ever go back. They're really stable, and for the price point and what you get, I always tell folks it's so much more kayak for the money than what you get at a lot of other entry level kayaks and stuff like that. And the biggest thing for me actually is the seat. They're so comfortable, man. Just that standard. I cannot remember for the life of me because it has a name. It's not the gravity seat. It's just the standard
Easy Rider
seat. The Easy Rider. Yeah. It's so comfortable, man. So they're great. But on top of that, the stability for a beginner kayaker, the stability in a sit on is tenfold what a sit inside is. Yeah. It's also a bit based on your application, though. So if I think I might even would ask the person back, like, what is your use for it? Are you running rivers? Are you just floating around a lake or something like that? If it's just a lake, I'll be honest with you, you could probably get away with either one. Feel Free's got great options for either sit in or sit on. If it's rivers, I'm probably going to go sit on. I want that stability. I've high-sided myself on rocks countless times in that Moken 12.5 of mine, and that's why I always beat the bush about that being the best riverboat ever made.
Yeah.
I've only ever turned it over once or twice, and it wasn't the boat's fault; it was my fault. So yeah, I know that I went down a big rabbit hole there to answer that question, but yeah, I would go with the sit on, even with a lot of sit insides. are way less expensive, and they've got them leaned up against the fence outside of your local Walmart for $200 or whatever.
Yeah.
But
And the other thing
don't
is
make
too.
that mistake.
Yeah, and the other thing is, Chris, when you look at your buying, and Jamie sort of nailed it on the head. Buy your second kayak first. Is the reason he's talking about like the Feel Free or rotor molded. They're one piece kayaks. There's no seams in them. A lot of the things at kayaks you look at Dunham's or they're two pieces glued together. And if you're going down the water, you hit a rock or a tree limb in that seam area, it can cause damage and put a hole in your boat. So that's one of the reasons why looking at a rotor mold boat like the Feel Free series is something that you would want to consider. So hey, let's take a quick break. We're going to do an angler profile, and then once we come back after the angler profile and our sponsor break, we'll jump into talking and asking Jamie a little bit more about why Maury River, and see what we can get out of him business-wise. I mean, we know it's going to be a good float. He's got 3 designated floats for beginners versus your guys like me that have some experience. But let's figure out. I want to get his business concept, and I mean I like it. But let's get him to tell us about it. So let's do an angler profile here. We got let's do my buddy Kyle Struther from here in West Virginia. So
I was probably pretty young, maybe in diapers still. I would learn to fish at one of my family's farm ponds, where I would catch bluegill and largemouth bass there. My favorite fishing technique would probably be whatever is the hot pattern for the day. I know that's a bit of a cop-out, but when you start catching them on like a certain type of whatever they're biting on, some days it's a frog or a chatterbait or a swim jig. One of the pro anglers that I admire the most is probably Mike McClellan. He is super down to earth and very knowledgeable and very experienced. If I could be half the fisherman that he is, I'd be doing pretty good for myself. One pro kayak angler that I admire a lot, and this applies to probably every West Virginia kayak angler, is Jody Queen. He is such a great guy. You can just go up to him and start chatting about fishing, and he's so welcoming and accepting of everyone, and always willing to share his knowledge and his expertise with other people. Has been finishing in the top 100 of a KBF national championship. So my parents and my wife Sierra traveled with me to that event, and I think it meant a lot to them to see me achieve that. I would have to say would be my dad. We can push each other's buttons a little bit, but at the end of the day, regardless of whether or not we catch fish, we always appreciate the time together. Is Lake Gunnersville. It is a part of Appalachia. The people in the area are so kind and welcoming, and the fishery, they have everything: bluff walls, grass, docks, smallmouth, spotted bass, largemouth. You can just find anything that fits.
Feel Free kayaks, paddle, pedal, or power. There's something for everyone. Do bro fishing. manufactured and designed marine products, American-made plastics, and fishing gear. Westbrook Supply Company, Atlanta's best kayak company for all your paddling and fishing needs. Yak Gadget, American-made kayak fishing accessories and gear. Ace Adventure Resort, West Virginia's #1 outdoor destination, whitewater, ziplining. Hey guys, welcome back to the show. It's John Rapp. Second half of the show is about to kick off. I'm going to bring back our guest, Jamie Childress from Lexington, Virginia area, with Maury River Smallmouth, LLC. Hey buddy, welcome back to the show. You got your mic on?
Yes, sir.
All right. So, just before we took a break, I was hinting about the business concept, and I just want to know what made you decide, and let everybody know what made you decide to start this venture. And honestly, if I lived in your area, I'd do the same thing, because, man, you got DC area is 2 hours away, metro area over there. You could target a lot of people. A lot of those guys are thinking, I'm going to go deep sea fish and stuff like that. But once you get them over in your area, I suspect in about 2 or 3 years, you're going to stay solidly booked with returning customers.
Well, we certainly hope so. And, that it's sort of a twofold answer to your question. I noticed very early on in kayaking on the Maury, even on a Saturday afternoon in the middle of June, that I wouldn't see anybody else all day long. And I couldn't figure it out for the longest time until I found out that information that we kind of went over earlier, where a lot of folks seem to have this idea that you can only run it a couple of weeks out of the year. Fast forward about 2 years later, I'm to be honest with you, I was kind of at a dead end job. Wasn't really happy there. Had been there for close to 5 years, and was looking for a bit of an outlet. And I had some folks go, we watch, you do a lot of fishing and everything. You catch a ton of fish. Have you ever thought about doing it for a living? And of course, my immediate reaction to that is to laugh, because, of course not. I'm not good enough to do anything like that. But the more I thought about it, I said to myself, well, there must be something to this area. If, there are folks that come here, and when they come here, they talk about it and they stay. Lexington is an area that has grown a ton over the last 10 years. And I feel like it presented an opportunity to not only get the outside clientele from, down the Shenandoah Valley into Pennsylvania, out east from Richmond and Arlington and DC and Newport News and everything, but also to try and get the locals on their river, because I think a lot of them had it in their mind that, it's just too low. We can't run it. We aren't even going to try. And I think that had a lot to do with me not ever really seeing anybody on it. So it was sort of a twofold thing. We wanted not necessarily, because I keep using the word expose, and if you talk to local folks, don't like that word, because they're like, oh no, don't tell people about it. It's, we want to keep it hidden. It's,
yeah, they want to keep that secret, man. They're like, man, what's he doing? What's he doing? He's telling all our secrets.
But hidden doesn't, put revenue in the county coffers and stuff like that either. And I got a good bit of inspiration from, there's a company about 30 miles down the road in Buchanan, if you're not from this area, you have no clue where I'm talking about. They're called Twin River Outfitters, and they started off here on the Maury. And they sort of didn't have the success that they wanted, so they expanded. They're a massive outfitter on the James. And I kept telling myself that possibility is here. I just don't think, I don't know what happened with their model, but the opportunity and the beauty is here. And the James now is a bit over commercialized. you can't swing a dead cat on a Saturday afternoon out there without hitting 30 kayakers in the head. I don't think that type of future is in the cards for the Maury, but I also don't think that it deserves to be just completely left alone. It's too beautiful. And that's something that Brian from Journey and myself sort of talk about all the time. And I kind of went to him with the idea before we ever started the company. I said, hey, Brian, I've kind of got this idea for a guide service and a rental company here on the Maury. And he's like, please, we don't have time. It's something they sort of wanted to do, but they're a little bit too busy with their business. And so that's been a blessing in disguise for us, because they have been such a huge passion partner of the project for us, that it's been a big motivator that there's someone else out there that feels like we do, that we want to expose it to as many people as we possibly can. It's just because it's such a beautiful body of water and unique, and it's just got all these things going for it. You could not throw a line all day and probably make your arm tired of writing down the different species of wildlife you're going to see in the trip. It doesn't necessarily have to be fishing.
I think you've done a solid service to them by opening it up. And, I've been in the industry now going on 9-10 years. And I've seen a lot of different stores, companies, mom and pop outfits, commercial locations, and Journey Outdoors. I got the feeling right up front that there's something special, and I really feel that Brian's on the right track there, and he's going to make it something very successful there. And being there with them, is really going to help. And I think you guys, in partnership, are going to really, really grow the sport and grow the industry in your neck of the woods. So
that's certainly, one of the big goals. We don't, there wasn't.
Do Bro Fishing. Manufactured and designed marine products, American-made plastics, and fishing gear. Westbrook Supply Company, Atlanta's best kayak company for all your paddling and fishing needs.
You might have some buffer.
Kayak Gadget, American-made kayak fishing accessories and gear. Ace Adventure Resort, West Virginia's #1 outdoor destination, whitewater, ziplining. All right, we're back. I think we got Jamie's signal back, so let's bring him back on, and we'll continue from here. Hey, buddy, you're back. It's a bad thing that you're out in the middle of God's country, just as like I am, and we have to depend on satellites and bandwidth. Hopefully, some of them kids are not on their Xboxes yet, and we can catch some of that open bandwidth to get this stream off. But yeah, man, so we got cut off there, but continue on if you can remember where you were at, and tell us more about your thoughts there.
Yeah, sure thing. And I was going to say, I have the same problem. Butterfly flaps its wings in Peking, China, and one cloud moves, and I lose my internet signal for 10 seconds. So, but yeah. So the whole idea was, again, just to sort of expose the Maury, get folks on it, and also provide a really affordable service. We didn't start necessarily with the rentals. We started with a guided service. And the more I thought about it, I went, there's more opportunity here than just this. And that's, so we sort of reached out to Brian. Brian and I sat down and had some discussions about doing, a sort of a rental operation and things like that. And that really sort of kicked off later in the season for us last year than we really wanted it to. But hey, the supply chain was still catching up. You're in the industry, you understand that completely.
Yeah. So the folks that come in, and when you offer boats, you offer what the two major boats you offer is the Moken 10, Moken 12.5.
Yeah, I've got a small fleet of Moken 10s that we run for our guides, and they are also available for rent. Okay. So if you're a person that is looking for a kayak rental, but not your basic kayak, and you want to be able to fish comfortably for the day, we offer those for $50 on the James or the Maury. And that's for the entire day, and that includes the shuttle as well. All of our services include a shuttle on top regardless.
Awesome.
Obviously with the shuttle service, and then the rentals and the guides. We shuttle you around for that too. So.
Beautiful, man. That's awesome. Well, let's do an angle profile, then we'll come back and we'll wrap up the show, and you can talk a little bit about what you got planned for the rest of the summer after your open house.
Awesome. So good.
When did I start fishing? I was probably 8 years old. I fished with Dad. We'd take the John boat out, catch panfish, bass, whatever was hitting, farm ponds. I would fish while Dad was groundhog hunting. My favorite fishing technique is definitely topwater, but other than that, probably a jackhammer and then Senko, no matter what Fred Haddock thinks. Two fishermen I admire most, probably pro fishermen, probably be Hank Parker for all the stuff that he did for the sport, and kayak fisherman, definitely Jody Queen. He's a true icon of the sport, and he's not too big, to help anybody. He'll help anybody. My biggest accomplishment fishing, I would probably say, was the 2-day statewide SWVKA. I put up 106 inches and caught my 2 personal bests within 40 minutes of each other.
What year?
2021. Who would you like to fish with for a fun day of fishing? I would.
When we can get everybody there. So apologize for any buffering or bandwidth issues, but we should be back running hard now. All right, Jamie, you're back, buddy. So tell us a little bit about after what you got planned after your spring event, and go from there, brother.
Man, we've got a pretty exciting year in store for us. Obviously, you sort of touched on the kickoff event that we're doing on the 22nd. I also fish a couple of different tournament trails. So, we've got the Bass Cast Kayak Bass Series that we've got going on all season. I'll be fishing each one of their events, as well as some of the Northern Virginia, the NVKBA, if you're familiar with that trail series. We fishing some of their events as well this year. That's a pretty big series. As far as the business goes, we've got a really neat thing that we're doing with an area recreational organization here in Rockridge. Toward the end of summer here, we're going to be offering a kayaking class that's going to be for kids 10 to 17. We're going to do 3 days of sort of safety instruction, learning the gear, different types of kayaks, different paddle techniques, and shallow and deep water re-entry techniques and things like that. So it's going to be like an all-inclusive, all-encompassing sort of intro to kayaking class for the first 3 days. And then the 4th day, we're going to do like a little short river float to sort of let the kids get a feel for what that's going to be like. So that's gonna be, I think, in June. I'm still working with Chad from the Rockridge Area Recreational Organization to set all that up. But Brian and Christina are also very heavily involved with that. We'll be doing, myself and Journey, kind of putting that on with Chad. So that's a really cool thing that we've got going on. We've got a neat idea for the business that we're going to start offering here. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to do it this year or not. It may be something that has to wait until next year. I will definitely keep you in the loop if that changes. But
okay.
We had talked about doing some bike tours on the Maury as well. Most folks aren't aware that there's a 7+ mile nature trail that runs from Lexington to Buena Vista, and it traverses the entire stretch of the Maury there that we float. So if you're a person that doesn't want to float the river but wants to fish, we're going to start offering some sort of off the trail kind of bike ride sort of a guided trip off the bike, essentially.
Outstanding.
That's something else we're going to start doing. And then the big thing that's sort of exciting for me, aside from the business, is going to be this October. The Basscast has their big kayak championship in October, but this year is a little different. We'll be down. We'll be there for 2 days. The second day of that one is going to be a bass qualifier. In the top 10% of that tournament, we'll get to fish next year in the 2024 Bassmaster Kayak Championship. So that's a massive opportunity for not only myself, but tons of kayak anglers here in Virginia to go sort of cut our teeth in a national event and have the opportunity. I can't believe I'm even saying this out loud, but to even fathom the opportunity to walk on stage at the Classic and be recognized for your angling ability, it gives me goosebumps talking about it. So
Yeah,
that's a
I hear you.
huge thing that we're looking forward to doing this year as well. And of course, we're trying to get our kids involved with the business and everything. They're going to be helping us do shuttles and helping out with the rentals and all that kind of stuff. We're a little small outfit. It's just myself and my fiance that run the deal here. We don't have a big giant outfit or anything like that. So you definitely supporting the small business when you book with us. That's for sure.
No doubt. Well, you never know. In 5 years, you may have that building next to Brian and them that's right there, and it'll have your outfitter on there.
I'd be over the moon. I'd be over the moon, man.
That would be awesome. Hey, buddy. Well, let's wrap this up. So tell everybody a little bit more about where they can find the information on your stuff. So web addresses, social medias, emails, stuff like that.
You got it. Well, if you want to check us out on Facebook, it's just Maury River Smallmouth. So it'd be facebook.com/Maury River Smallmouth. The website is just simply MauryRiverSmallmouth.com. As you see, there's a developing theme here. The Instagram is at Maury River Smallmouth. I do also operate a TikTok, and that one is not Maury River Smallmouth. That one is VA_Bassin. So Virginia_Bassin. That's probably my biggest platform right now, and I have a lot of fun with TikTok, so I really hope they don't ban it. But you can get all the information that you need. We usually put up specials or any sort of like last minute deals or cancellations. If somebody's paid a deposit and then they cancel or something like that, and we end up with the day open, we'll post that on the Facebook. Generally, we'll post that on the Instagram. If you'd like, on our website, you can sign up for our newsletter. We try to send out one at least at the beginning of every month, sort of giving you an idea of what the water predictions look like for the month and stuff like that. It's a big thing for us, is water safety. And so we try to post as we get into the big swing of the season here, we also try to post even the gauge heights daily. I know it's something that we touched on Saturday as far as safety goes. We have our gauges listed on our website too. But again, information is basically if you go into Google and you type in Maury River Smallmouth, you're probably going to find anything that you need. We've got a Google listing page and everything there as well. And then our email address is MauryRiverSmallmouth@gmail.com.
Outstanding.
Phone number's on the website too, so you can text me, you can send me a call. If it's not 11 o'clock at night, I'll probably answer it. So,
like right here, fellas, you can see it right there on the Facebook page. He's got all the information right there, easy accessible. His phone number, web address, email address, everything. So make sure you
AISS, man, keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah, and guys, go like his page, follow it, and keep track of what Jamie's got going on down there in his neck of the woods. But yeah, appreciate you taking the last 45 plus minutes to hang out with us here at the Rusty Hook Kayak Fishing Podcast. Love what you're doing over there, and we wish you nothing but success.
Thank you so much, John. I can't thank you enough for having me on. I've been telling folks ever since we met Saturday, and we're kind of talking about it, unofficially, that I felt like this was a huge opportunity for me. So thank you very much for providing that, man, and letting me sort of spread my message and let folks sort of get the idea of what we're about here. We're a small business. We're not in this to try and get rich. We just want to get people out on the water, teach them to fish, and let them enjoy the beautiful creation we got here, man.
Well, the one thing it's good about this podcast, I'm from West Virginia, we're streaming with the Paddle and Fin guys, their media group, and they got a great host of shows. So, and they're based out of Illinois. So, you know, we're getting some exposure to your neck of the woods there in Lexington. And people don't realize what they think of Lexington, Virginia is just a stop on I-81 and I-64. They don't understand. You got Washington and Lee University there. It's a hidden little gem. And I believe what you've done there is open up the market to, and that, you know, and that's another place you could really do a little, not recruiting, but business work with, is retreats for the professors and different fraternities and things like that. You can hit up and say, hey, you guys want to go out and do something a little bit different for a weekend? Here's what I can offer. And so, yeah, man, wish you the best of luck.
Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate it, and you know, best of luck, you know, with everything you got going on there too, man. I'll definitely be tuning in every week to catch up with you and all that. So.
Well, outstanding. Hey, appreciate that, man. So you have a great day. All right, guys, that was Jamie from Maury River Smallmouth there in Lexington, Virginia. If you aren't doing anything in about an hour or in 45 minutes, go over to the Feel Free Fishing Team page. We're going to be live there with the Feel Free Fishing Team. Got the marketing director, Roland Bones Jimenez, coming on to talk about the new Mokins pedal drives. That we got the 10s that have been released now for a little over a month, and now we're getting ready to release our 12 Mokin 12 pedal drive. It's going to be a heck of a craft. So watercraft. I mean, I'm looking forward to it. Anyway, nothing but love for all you guys. It's John K. Rap Jr., Paddle and Fin Media Group, Rusty Hook Kayak Fishing Podcast. Rockin', rolling, out for the day. You guys be safe. Stay safe on the water. Make sure you pay attention to your gauges. Pay attention to the water temps, air temps. Wear the appropriate clothing. Always be safe. See you soon.